Hello, this is Adam with DreamMade Productions. This video is made possible by the very kind donations of viewers like you. Thank you. If you are in a position to help this channel improve quality and grow, please visit my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below. Hello. So, I wanted to start a little bit of a mini-series, a kind of casual series where I give my opinion on anime that I've watched or am watching and just have it real laid back. I'm not planning on doing any retrospectives or any real serious reviews or anything like that. These are going to kind of be like any of my other My Thoughts videos where it's just me, rambling like an asshole for a little while. To get stuff started off, I thought I would talk a little bit about my views on anime in general and how I got into it, how I became a fan. Now, I kind of say that I'm a casual anime fan. I'm not a super fan. I haven't seen every anime out there. I can't tell you who directed what and that kind of thing. And I'm not one of those people that's, subbed or nothing or watch it in the original Japanese, learn Japanese. I watch dub stuff. I've watched some sub stuff. It's fine. I prefer dub because, what can I say? I'm a casual, I guess. I can't say where I got into anime. It was too long ago. And chances are I didn't even realize it at the time. Chances are I saw an episode of Speed Racer or Robotech and didn't even realize it was really any different than the cartoons I was watching. I can tell you when I became aware of the difference between anime and the traditional cartoons I had been watching up to that point. Now, before anybody says anything, yes, I know. Anime in Japan is anything animation. If you're in Japan, they'll refer to Pixar as anime. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about kind of the US nerdy definition of Japanese cartoons. And I might even ruffle the feathers a little bit in there because I'm going to cheat a little bit and throw things like Avatar in there with it. It is what it is. I kind of miss the term Japanimation. That was the term that was being thrown around a lot when I was really getting into anime, and I think it described it a lot better. It's Japanese animation, or, Asian animation. Anything from that kind of area can sort of, kind of, not really, but we're going to throw it in there anyway kind of thing. We all know what we're talking about here. We're talking about Japanese animation. So, when did I get into anime proper? Well, I can tell you with absolute certainty it was one time when I watched the SciFi Channel and this came on.
This fall, Saturday mornings on the SciFi Channel, it's Japanese animation in the raw, and this ain't no swim in the kiddie pool. Cutting-edge anime that's pure power and sheer genius.
Be ready to receive this sacrifice. Saturday
anime on the SciFi Channel coming this fall.
Oh, God, that takes me back. I mean, I remember every Saturday looking forward to Saturday anime. I would get up, I would watch some cartoons, whatever. Then Saturday anime would come on, and no matter what anime it was, I watched it. Even if it was something that I didn't really care that much for, like Robot Carnival, I would watch it anyway. It didn't matter how many times I had seen it. I remember when I first started watching Saturday anime, I think it was fairly early into the run because they only had like 5 or 6 of them. They would just cycle through them every weekend, and you would see the same one over and over and over. But Saturday anime was what really got me into it, and what made me realize the difference between anime and the rest of cartoons. I'd watch cartoons from He-Man to G.I. Joe, Thundercats, Silverhawks, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, up through the superhero cartoons of Batman the Animated Series, X-Men, Spider-Man, and then to have the cartoons that I loved so much kind of grow up with me once I was introduced to anime. Now, SciFi Channel did a pretty good job with their selection. It seemed like they had something for everybody. They had things like Vampire Hunter D for horror, Lily Cat. They had Kashan Robot Hunter and the great value version of that, 8-Man After. They had great things like Iria, Zerum, the animation, Armitage the Third, oh, so good. Venus Wars, just all kinds of anime that they would have eventually. In fact, after a while, whenever they would get a new anime, I remember they would have their anime festival that would come on late at night. I remember when Apollo Smile was on the SciFi Channel introducing anime, giving you a little bit of its breakdown of where it came from, and kind of running these little bumpers in between. I remember staying up late trying to keep the TV down because, it was past my fucking bedtime and my parents would have had a cow, and me trying to stay awake and watch the new anime that was coming out. Anyway, Saturday anime was awesome, and it really got me into anime. Now, from there, things kind of go off to the side a little bit, because back then, that was really my only choice. It was very, very hard to find anything anime at all, anywhere. Once I grew up a little bit and I had a little bit of spending money, I remember going here. Saturday Matinee. This was one of the few places you could find VHS anime. I bought a few things from here, but brother, let me tell you, it was not something I could do on anything even approaching a regular basis. Anime was expensive. I remember anime being $25, $30, and that was for like 2 episodes on one VHS tape. It was expensive. So, me being the cheap bastard that I am, got blank VHS tapes and recorded it off the SciFi Channel. Here's a quick little rundown of my little VHS collection. Yeah, I have a few professional things here that I picked up here and there, however I managed to do them over the years back then. But as you can see, I have all these volumes, and these are frankly things that I copied off the SciFi Channel for the most part. Whenever a sci-fi I would put in the tape, whenever it would start, if it was one I hadn't had recorded yet, bam, I'd hit record, and it didn't matter how crappy the quality was, I was going to get it. So things continued like that for a while, till I started working at Blockbuster Video. And I started being able to get free rentals from working at Blockbuster Video, and you can be assured that anything anime that came into that store, I got and took home with me. Side tangent here, I managed to find these photos of the actual Blockbuster Video that I worked at for 3 years. Now, I couldn't find any of the inside back in its heyday. I couldn't find one of it, still set up here. It's obviously closed, but it's still set up as Blockbuster Video. But this is the actual store that I worked at for about 3 years. Not long after that, I discovered that you could actually get anime through what was essentially mail order catalogs. That's right, it's time to talk a little bit about Right Stuff Anime. Now, most people kind of remember Right Stuff Anime as the one-stop shop anime store that could have anything you wanted. And a lot of people remember when it finally died and Crunchyroll became the undisputed masters of all things anime. I can tell you that I first ran into Right Stuff Anime back in 1999 or 2000 when someone gave me this. This is the 1999-2000 Right Stuff Anime catalog. Now, I never actually got anything through them way back then. It was a little bit later. I got it out of another catalog, not actually this one. But for several years, I would sit there and just read this catalog. To me, anime was mostly stuff that was from the SciFi Channel, or, what I managed to find at Blockbuster Video or Saturday Matinee. This showed me just how much anime there was. I also had other catalogs that I got my hands on. This one, which I'm pretty sure is Central Park Media's direct catalog. Much smaller, much fewer titles, but color and much more beautiful. One of these days, maybe I'll make a video where we actually look through these, or do it on stream, or something fun like that. From there, DVDs started to kind of come out, and I managed to pick up a few ones of those. I remember going to Best Buy and buying the 2-pack of Armitage and Armitage Dual Matrix together, and being so excited to see the sequel and being disappointed in it. It's not a bad film, it's fine, it just couldn't live up to the original. Anyway, so from there I would work, go to school, and mostly just watch whatever I could get my hands on, or just watch what was in my collection over and over and over and over again. That was until years later that I bought a house of my own, got cable, managed to find Cartoon Network and Adult Swim. And this is one of the things that really revamped my love for anime. Anybody that grew up in that time frame or was a young adult remembers Cartoon Network showing anime. Now, I missed a lot of Toonami. I was just at work all the time. Having something on late at night was my best chance of watching it if I could stay awake. So a lot of the Toonami block, I remember watching some of it. It was awesome, but it was not my main thing on Cartoon Network. My main thing on Cartoon Network on Saturdays when I didn't work, I would get some time with some of my friends. We'd get together. We'd play Dungeons and Dragons or board games or whatever, other RPGs, Spycraft. We'd get together, we'd play some RPGs, have some fun, and as soon as we wrapped up, I would haul ass home and get there in time, hopefully, to start watching Adult Swim on Saturday night when all of the anime would be on. Adult Swim did a pretty good job selecting anime. They had some classics on there that everyone will recognize. Things like Inuyasha, Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, Full Metal Alchemist, Bleach, so many, Trigun, so many of these anime that came on that they would show that people fell in love with and are still in love with today. Oh, there was so many that came on that I would catch them all. And in fact, our first episode of my thoughts on anime are going to talk about one of those, but we'll let that go for now. There was so much that came on that was so awesome, and it gave dreams of one day having a network that showed nothing but anime. To kind of bring things back, the SciFi Channel did try to compete again in the anime to pull people away from Adult Swim and Toonami, and they started back up with anime on the SciFi Channel. They had several of them. I honestly don't remember which ones they were, except this one, Monster. I remember it being really awesome and really getting into it. There were others. Toko, I think, was one of them. At any rate, it didn't make a big splash. It didn't help that it wasn't Saturday anime. They moved it around a lot, and eventually they put it on at like Friday night at like 11 o'clock for it to die. For a while, I had a Netflix subscription, and that was back when you got DVDs through the mail. And Netflix had quite a bit of anime DVDs. So I would get them occasionally that way and watch them. That was a cheaper way of getting them. You could also do, the cheap imports. I remember FX Anime being sold through kind of shady websites that would get you knockoff anime. And I don't mean like not real anime, but I mean like, bad copies of anime on DVD. Still have some of those, actually. We'll take a look at crap like that at some point in the future as well. So I kind of blindly went through it for a while. Today, mostly I watch anime online. There's a surprising amount of it here on YouTube if you just look around. Mostly older stuff, but there's also Tubi. That's a free option. There's Crunchyroll, of course. I've had subscriptions with them on and off for a while. It just depends whether I feel like I'm getting my money out of it or whether I'm spending all my time at work and I get to watch an episode once in a while. That being said, between friends, family, subscriptions, on and off, free stuff on the internet, I do get to still watch anime once in a while. I don't get to keep up with it the way that I used to, or frankly the way that I want to. I would love to have one day a week where I get to sit down and block off 4 or 5 hours and just watch anime like I used to, but sadly, life is chaos, and you just don't get to do that stuff as much anymore. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Anyway, so that's kind of my deal with anime, how much I got into it, how much I loved it. To this day, I still watch it, whether it's something older, way back when. I kind of stick away from stuff before the 80s, really before the 90s. What can I say? I'm nostalgic for stuff that was new when I was watching it, and once you get into stuff that was exceptionally old, I'll still watch it, but I just don't enjoy it as much. Whether it's the classics, at least as I consider it, whether it be Project A-ko or Cowboy Bebop or Bleach, or whether it's stuff that's relatively new like Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, To Your Eternity, or Apothecary Diaries, or whatever that's coming out that I've never even heard of that I'm going to enjoy one of these days. I love to sit down and watch anime, and there's very little of it that I just didn't like at all. Looking at you, Vampire Wars. Looking at you. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my ramblings, and I hope you enjoy future ramblings as I talk about different individual anime and give my opinion on them. Let me know below. Are you a big anime fan? Which anime do you like? If you don't like anime, why? Do you have any suggestions of things I should check out? And as always, I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come. Future me here. I recently discovered that there's a website out there that has all of the anime that was shown on the SciFi Channel. I don't know much about this website, but I was scrolling through and man, it just took me down memory lane seeing all of these things that I remember seeing, staying up late for and stuff. List challenges. Maybe I'm a dinosaur and just don't know anything about this list challenges website, but I'll link it below. That way you can see some of the stuff that came out, and maybe you'll find something in there that's just awesome.
Warning, the following offer is for mature audiences only. Exciting, mysterious, intense, graphic, provocative, raw. This is no ordinary animation. This is the exotic, bizarre, and beautiful world of Japanese anime. And this is your invitation to enter with the modern classic Akira. Critics say Akira makes Blade Runner look like Disney World. It's action-packed, the future of animation. Siskel and Ebert call it the video pick of the week. Akira is yours for only $4.95 with subscription when you order the Best of Japanese Animation Collection Series. With these state-of-the-art sci-fi classics, you will enter a world beyond imagination, a future out of control, and an experience you will never forget. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Call 1-800-414-4422 now to order Akira for only $4.95 plus $3.79 shipping and handling. Future volumes are $19.95 plus shipping. Mature audiences only.
Hello, this is Adam with Dream Made Productions. Thank you for watching my content. It really means a lot that you have given me the chance to entertain you. If you would like to support the channel, please visit my Patreon at patreon.com/DreamMadeProductions, linked below. Also below is a link for PayPal, or links if you would like to send crypto, if that's more your thing. Please know any amount that you give will be cherished and used to upgrade equipment and improve the channel. You can also help the channel by subscribing, turning on notifications, liking, commenting, and sharing my channel with anyone you think might be interested. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you enjoy the battle reps that are to come.